I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC. I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC. I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC. Then you probably know that I'm Chris Hansen. I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC.
All right.
You got
This is a special episode.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, shit. I just put down my phone, but I think cancel Netflix was on. It's trending #1 in the UK right now.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I think there's some reason behind all that anger.
Yeah, there might be something. I don't know. I haven't checked Netflix in a few days, but
Dude.
I mean, they probably did something.
It was so much more sexual than I was expecting.
Yeah, that's. I'm trying to pull up because I sent you a couple tweets that I needed to remember. But
I just want to start this off. My favorite scene of the whole movie, the whole thing, is, it's about this girl that her family won't let her dance or whatever because they're old school.
we're talking about Cuties, by the way.
Oh yeah, a real box office hit. But
It is. It's gonna be.
yeah, this fucking foreign girl. I think her dad's in like Senegal, so like that type of person.
Yeah.
So sure, her family's like old school religious Muslim, and they won't even let her show her fucking hair. Like you have to wear a burqa or whatever. Like
Right.
yeah, they don't like you twerking in bikinis at 11.
Weird.
But
Weird.
no, my favorite part is like she has her dad's phone and she's on Facebook or whatever, and her dad like tries to take the phone away from her, and she's like, no, like please, I need that, like I'll do anything. And then she like takes off her jacket, like her hoodie, and then she like starts like fiddling with like her button on the top of her pants.
What? Wait. Okay. Wait.
Yeah,
Who took her phone? Who took her phone?
Her dad.
Her
took
dad, and she
phone.
starts undressing in front of her dad.
I mean, she like just got to like the zipper down, and he like moved forward, and it's like a tense second. Then he like pushes her back. He's like, "What are you doing?" And then she jumps on him from behind, like takes the phone somehow, locks herself in the bathroom, and posts a picture of her pussy on Facebook, and then throws the phone back at her dad.
What? You got to be shitting me.
No.
The main character,
right
the 11-year-old girl.
Yes.
Oh,
the best
fuck.
part is all of her friends are like pissed at her. They're like, "You made us look like sluts," and it's like, no, you committed like 3 felonies. Like,
yeah, you all look like sluts already. So I didn't watch it. I've not watched it. I didn't even know that it was coming out. So I was at work all day and I saw a bunch of tweets about how Cuties is so much worse than people expected.
It really is.
And a lot of people, because it got big a little bit ago, whenever everybody was saying, "Oh, cancel it," whatever, and the trailer got downvoted to hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, from what I've read, I have not watched a single clip. I haven't watched anything. And apparently there's clips going around Twitter, but I strongly feel like anyone who watches them should get a fucking knock at the door,
It's fucking it's so much more sexual than like any art excuse of like, oh, well, they're dancing. It's like, no, like the camera focuses on their ass, and they do this move that they've ruined it for me. I used to love it when I saw like TikTok whores, but like, come on, I hope they're 18, like 19, but they would like, it's like when they're twerking and then they like lay down on the ground almost completely. It's like they're stretching their like hips, and they start like moving their ass up in the air, and they're like banging their fist on the floor,
the
like
WAP
she's getting,
move.
Yeah, like she's getting, yeah, exactly. They start doing that.
Okay.
And it's like, that's literally the most like sexual, like that's for taking dick.
Yeah, that's the point. That dance move is that.
Yeah.
What's is there a plot?
Yeah, that fucking it's this black Senegal-ish girl, whatever, like African-ish. I think it's a French movie, so they're in France.
Senegalese. She's
Yeah,
Muslim though. Yeah, her
yeah,
family's
old
Muslim.
school Muslim. They don't want her to dance, and like the opening scene of like her like of any other characters other than her family, like she meets the Latina girl, little 11-year-old, which is weird to say Latina because the 11-year-old Mexican girl, but I don't know what she
There
is.
you go. Sure.
But anyway, she's just like in the laundry room at the apartment complex, just like doing some like salsa dance as she's like doing laundry and like ironing her hair and shit.
Right.
And she's wearing like I don't think I saw any of them wear pants other than like leather pants.
Right.
And so she's wearing like like leather pants and a crop top, and they're always every one of them is dressed like they're going to the fucking club.
Right.
Like they're 20 something. I don't know. Then yeah, fucking little African girl like turns out Latina girls in this little dance crew, and little black girl, little Senegal girl is like, yo, I'm kind of interested, but they're like, this takes 45 minutes, but anyways,
Yeah,
this
we're already towards
yeah
the end of the movie.
yeah no, there's this fucking scene where they're hanging out, Senegal and Latina, and then there's like in the other group there's like a blonde girl, a fat girl, and another black girl.
Yeah.
And but anyways, the Latina and the Senegal girl are like sitting on their like in one of the rooms watching some other dance team's dance video. And the Latina girl's like, yeah, they're pretty good, but I think we can beat them this year in the competition. And so they're around the same age, right? So they're in the same competition. I think they like have beef with these girls at school at one point.
Yeah.
Okay, well, in these girls' like video of them dancing, they're shaking their ass and being all sexual and shit. And the ending shot, the one of the girls like lifts her shirt up and like at the end like lifts her bra up, and you see a titty. You see just a straight up titty. It's a titty.
What?
You see a titty, dude. It's like, well, the
You're like, am I going to prison?
yeah, are there 19-year-olds competing against these 11-year-olds?
Right.
Or am I misunderstanding something?
Right. Did I miss the part where there's
What?
the director comes out and goes, just kidding, these girls are all 18.
Like,
Gotcha.
I mean, I'm sure the dancers, they could have been 18 like in real life, but like even then, like there's no way they're playing. So in this made up fucking story, or unless it's based on something true, like these girls are 18.
Yeah, and the 11-year-olds are played by 11-year-olds. Like they're played by children.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But dressed like Jennifer Lopez.
Like they're dressed like a 16-year-old on TikTok.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
So I do want to talk about the rest of the story too, because that was the whole defense of it was like, oh, it's like fucking conservatives are misrepresenting the movie because they're homophobic or like misogynistic somehow.
No, if anything, it was like the best example of how like radical or over, too much Islam or like Muslim stuff. It's like too much Christianity, and your daughter turns out to be a whore.
Yeah.
It's like sending your daughter to a Catholic school. Like you guys
is that like the message of the movie? Like, don't let your daughters do this?
I don't know
is it
the
like
fucking messages? Oh my god, the fucking ending scene was retarded, dude. There's nothing. Okay, so she fucking like her family obviously doesn't like the shit, I guess.
And are they like the bad guys in the story?
I guess so. But then, I don't know. Who's the good guy? The 11-year-old's pussy that she keeps flashing at me?
Yeah.
Because literally, they're doing dances where they're like, oh, like holding their pussy and shit.
Yeah.
So, I'm over it. Anyways, the fucking ending scene. I guess the mom like was like, "Yo, grandma, you're a little too strict," and the grandma was like, "Oh, whatever." And so the girl's like running to go back to her friends to join in the final dance battle or whatever, dance competition, and. But like it's a 4-man competition and they're in a 5-man group. She finds the fat girl walking there and just pushes her into the fucking river. And then like make sure she doesn't drown because the fat girl can't swim apparently.
Yeah.
So watches her like get to a floaty and like takes off and joins the competition.
Wait, the main character does that? The protagonist. Okay.
Yeah. And then yeah, and then so she makes it, and she's dancing with her crew or whatever. And then like as you know, they're shaking their ass in front of everybody. Like the crowd's kind of like, oh, oof, like the crowds that you can see a little uncomfortable, but like everyone's been uncomfortable with this whole time. Like her conservative parents have been uncomfortable with this, and they've been the bad guy. So is the crowd the bad guy now? Is the crowd just like, what are we doing? And just like in the middle of it, she fucking middle of their routine, she just stops and like starts crying and runs back home to her family. And it's
Perfect.
like the end. I was like, okay, yeah, best story ever. Okay, a kid that choked at a middle school talent show. It was all about her ass. Like it's all about them just.
And that's the if the message, if you were like a filmmaker and you know, maybe the message of the movie is supposed to be like, this is wrong to sexualize kids, but you don't make that point by sexualizing kids.
Yeah, you don't make that point by having. The worst part is like it can't be redeemed as like, oh, it's just art and like they're dancing and it's like traditional. Like no, they're doing the wet ass pussy dance, and like you're focusing the camera on an 11-year-old's ass.
Right.
It's following her ass.
Right.
What are we doing?
And yeah, I haven't looked into the director or the writer or anything. No behind the scenes or anything like that.
Holy shit, dude.
Somebody needs to fucking, you know, I don't know who the director is, but somebody needs to fucking, you know, get a little knock on the door and a little bit of that, I think.
Yeah, I was telling a friend today, I explained it to him, and I said, take that fucking plot idea to Dallas. Take it to a movie production studio in Dallas, Texas. See how that works out.
Or that's the thing. It's a French movie. Which is it in English or is it in French?
It was dubbed.
Oh, okay, really dubbed over in English.
Really well, because I was high and I didn't notice it till like halfway in. But I watched the whole thing in like 40 minutes maybe, because like I would see like, okay, well here comes like this song, and like after 40 seconds of the girl shaking her ass, I'm like, okay, let's skip.
You're skipping ahead.
So I skip like all the songs where she shakes her ass. I just like see like little glimpses of it. I'm like, yep, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Yeah. I mean, you know, whenever all this shit was first going on, I was saying that I feel like Netflix or the director of this movie was hoping that like the LGBT community would come up and be like, no, this is, you know, like anyone who doesn't like this is homophobic, you know, like how anybody who didn't like Clinton was sexist. Like if you can if you can call the people that don't like your product any kind of ist word, you're going to come out on top most of the time. But the LGBTQ community did not come up for this movie. Like nobody was supporting this movie whenever it was getting trashed a couple weeks ago. I did see a journalist, quote unquote journalist, named Richard Brody, wrote an article that says, "Cuties, the extraordinary Netflix debut that became the target of a right-wing campaign."
Yeah.
So they are trying to twist it now to where it's, you know, oh, conservatives are trying to silence this movie.
I guess I'm conservative. Like,
yeah.
What?
another one, Tim Roby posted, "Cuties, designed to push buttons, has pissed off all the right people." And then his review of it is Cuties, Netflix review, a provocative powder keg for an age terrified of child sexuality.
They're 11.
This is the part where usually I say, I'm Chris Hansen with Daylight NBC.
Yeah. I don't.
It's not even like 16, 17-year-old like French, like they're almost adults. Like back in the 1400s, they were adults.
And there are tons of movies like that for like 16, 17-year-olds because that's generally when people start having sex.
Yeah.
So as far as, you know, like showing that story, that makes sense.
Like Step Up or whatever.
Step Up and all that, yeah.
Yeah, they were provocative for the time of having like these 18-year-old actresses like, you know, flashing their pussies in like cheerleading outfits. But no, this is like straight up J-Lo and Cardi B outfits, and they're doing the fucking wet ass pussy dance. Like, but like at least like with the cheerleader thing, it's like, okay, they're trying to get like high school guys are jerking off to this.
Like, I would assume that mostly 50-year-old men are jerking off to this.
To Cuties?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
And
the step up
everyone who
shit,
works at Netflix. Oh, the step up shit. Yeah, for sure.
that shit was getting like high school, middle school kids horny. They're jerking off.
Yeah,
But
it's
when they're
designed to appeal
11-year-old
to.
kids,
Yeah, and that's the thing is like those coming of age movies are meant to appeal to people that age. So like
yeah,
even something like Superbad,
American
where
Pie,
yeah, American Pie, Superbad, those
yeah.
are targeting that audience, and it's like relevant to that audience. But are 11-year-olds shaking their ass in competitions? No. So who does this appeal to? Who is it for? There's this guy Keith Demko tweeted, if anyone with more than an ounce of sense really tweets about cancel Netflix because of Cuties, they don't really have any. It's one of the most beautiful coming of age movies I've seen in many, many years. So he tweeted that yesterday and deleted it almost immediately.
Yeah, you can't really
So
come of age when you can't get your period yet. All right, they're
yeah, it's
11.
like this is not.
What the fuck are we talking about?
It's a thing. I mean I don't know who this movie's for. Um I don't know if fuck, what was I thinking?
11-year-old
I
poontang.
don't know. Yeah, I got distracted. No, I don't know if it's targeting 11-year-olds. If like 11-year-olds are supposed to watch this movie and be like, "That's me and my friends," or if the director meant it to be some kind of like
That's
critique of society.
that's the thing that
What's your
scared me.
critique?
That's the thing that scared me whenever there's that scene where the girl was like, "I'll do anything to get my phone back or your phone back," and like she like takes off her fucking jacket and like starts undoing her pants. It's like, okay, if this isn't a wet dream for a 40-year-old, this is telling 11-year-olds what tactics they should try.
Right, like this is the
Like,
person that you're supposed to relate to in the movie.
yeah, the
And
main
even if it
character.
was, there are movies that are stories about like sexual abuse or whatever that have
Yeah.
kids, but it's like the point of the movie
She
is
was the
not
hunter, not the
right.
hunted.
And
Like,
because is it ever implied that the dad like assaults her or anything?
never, nothing.
No.
He was like, "Give me my fucking phone back," and she was like, Let me blow you."
Right.
Like,
Yeah. Um but this really breaks my fucking brain. And the fact that I haven't seen, I mean, even the most like left-leaning people that I'm friends with, everyone was shitting on this movie. Everyone on Twitter, I don't know who it's for, and I don't know what the fuck Netflix is thinking putting it on. I saw that I think it was Turkey, but I could be wrong. In Turkey, the government told Netflix to take it down, like to ban it,
good.
which is pretty fucking solid. I think that's across the board what should happen. Which I'm all about fucking free speech. Put whatever you want. Art is art, but I don't see the value in this as a coming of age story. How is it? You know, what is there to relate to for an 11-year-old?
I just feel like I think they showed me an underage girl's titty. Like,
Yeah,
I think there's not an 18-year-old in that dance competition. These
right.
kids are 11,
And if there is, if
and
they
the
got an
rival
18-year-old
crew.
actress, if
Oh
they got
yeah,
like that movie or like that show on HBO, Euphoria, where it's supposed to be high school, like it's supposed to take place in high school, but
yeah,
all of the actresses are like 20 something. Like Sydney
yeah,
Sweeney is in it,
yeah. They did
and
that in Shameless too.
there's tons of nudity and sex and
Yeah,
stuff. And to that, like if you have an adult
that's
actress playing that, that's one thing. Obviously, that's an
yeah.
artistic liberty. But you have 11-year-olds playing 11-year-olds doing, extremely sexual dances. Eh, eh,
Then the dances get even more sexual, but use an 18-year-old girl for that. For that, it's
right.
like
And there's no
it's
there's no um, indication that that girl is supposed to be older. It's like,
yeah. They literally said like she said, "I think we could beat them in the competition this year."
yeah. I don't even know what way you could make this movie where it's not inappropriate. It seems like the kind of thing that a Republican in 2006 would have said, like, if we let gay marriage happen, then we're going to have 10-year-old girls shaking their ass on the world's largest streaming service.
Yeah.
Like, this is like worst case scenario, worst slippery slope. And it's like, it's just on Netflix now.
It does kind of make me want to cancel Netflix because I'm watching Zodiac right now. That movie, I'm halfway through that. But other than that, like, there's not a lot of good movies, and any movie in the world ever is on YouTube for like $2 or $3.
Right.
Like, fucking the video store here, the Family Video, just fucking closed down. It's like, damn, I'm surprised they lasted this long. Like, Blockbuster's been gone for how long?
Oh, I mean, since like I don't even know. I mean, I haven't seen one since the early 2000s. I don't know when they all closed their doors, but I don't think Netflix will take a hit from this because there's always, cancel this, whatever the fuck. And
I don't use Netflix, really.
It's too convenient for people to cancel it. I use HBO Max and Hulu more than Netflix.
Exactly.
But
it's like
I just can't
watch
see
2 movies a month off of Netflix. That'd be $6 on YouTube or $8 a month for Netflix.
Right, and it's just so bizarre.
And then I'm supporting pedophilia. So
right. I don't know how anybody. I haven't. The only defense of it that I have seen is like, oh, Republicans don't like it, so it's good, and it's a coming of age story. Like, should 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds be like, experiencing sexuality? No, absolutely not.
What grade is that?
That's insane.
Oh
God, second grade, third grade? No, hell no, not fifth grade.
11, 4th grade.
11? Is it fifth grade?
5th grade. Because like I turned 13 in 7th grade, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I turned 13 in 7th grade, so 6th grade, 4th, 5th grade. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, like 4th, 5th.
But like they didn't even teach sex ed in those grades.
And if there's a difference between like teaching sex ed and telling kids, like wear a condom and be safe and all this, and even telling kids like be comfortable with your body, like that's a borderline sexual thing to tell someone.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between that and being like express your sexuality when you're 11.
People say be comfortable with your body for fat kids.
Well, that's I mean, I don't. As far as like, we need to teach kids, I don't know. This has broken my brain so much. I don't know what the fuck the director's point was. Everyone at Netflix who thought that this was a good idea should be fucking in prison. Like, not even just fired. Like, this is some shit. It's batshit. And then to pull the whole like, oh, well, conservatives are having a fit. Okay, sometimes they're right. It all comes down to, I mean, literally culture at this point is anything that conservatives like is bad. Anything that they think is bad is good. So that's how you get cuties.
Yeah. Well.
Here's another article that says why people are urging users to hashtag cancel Netflix behind the controversial new movie. Cuties has been accused of sexualizing children, but others have praised the French film for its handling of sensitive topics. What sensitive topics?
I don't know. Maybe the whole Muslim thing of like, should Muslims be all, not dressed or like overly dressed and shit?
Yeah.
Like maybe that sensitive topic, or maybe the sensitive topic of our 11-year-old's hot.
I mean, yeah, that it seems like that's the entire the whole plot is like, hey, what if we got a bunch of sexy kids? And they're like, what? Like every single step of this movie's production, did no one say like, hey, this is this is not great. Oh, here's the warnings on the parents guide for it on Netflix. It says parental warning during one of the many highly sexualized and erotic dance scenes. This movie's about 11-year-olds that purposefully exploit and objectify numerous scantily clad underage girls. This is the part that you're talking about. One of the female child dancers lifts up her crop top to display her bare breast. This is lawfully defined as pedophilia and can be extremely distressing to some viewers. So they put it in the description.
That was a child?
And also it says this is lawfully defined.
Am I going to jail?
You fucking should.
What?
I mean, what the fuck?
What?
Female, okay, yeah, this says female breast, that's a pretty funny way to put it, female breast nudity. Female breast nudity of a minor during an erotic dance scene and lengthy and excessive close-up shots of breasts, bums, and spread crotches of scantily clad 11-year-old girls during numerous sexualized dance routines. So this is something, that's not Netflix's official description, unfortunately.
I saw it was rated
It's something
TV.
called Parents Guide.
MA on Netflix.
Right, which is adults only. So the people in it can't even watch it. 11-year-olds shouldn't watch it.
For another half
Who is it
decade
for?
at least. Yeah.
So this says, okay. So this is interesting. Film critic Monica Castillo gave the film 4 stars and applauded Docore, who I'm assuming is the producer or the director, for using the storyline to criticize the societal pressures young girls face to be overtly sexual. Okay, so the film is, this says the movie is much more nuanced and bold than the first wave of outrage charged. With Cuties, Decoure announces herself as a director with a keen visual style who's unafraid to explore these cultural and social tensions. Actress Tessa Thompson has spoken out in defense of the film, which fucking burn her at the stake, calling it beautiful. I don't even know who Tessa Thompson is, but fuck her if this is her opinion. The film comments on the hypersexualization of pre-adolescent girls. Disappointed to see the current discourse, she says. So, okay, here's her full tweet. Cuties is a beautiful film. It gutted me. It introduces a fresh voice at the helm. She's a French Senegalese black woman mining her experiences. The film comments on the hypersexualization of pre-adolescent girls. Disappointed to see the current discourse. So if your point in making a film is sexual, like young girls are too overly sexualized, there's other ways to say it. You don't like if you want to make a point about violence, you don't film yourself shooting somebody in the fucking head and being like, see, it's bad.
Yeah.
Like,
well, this also didn't show, like, it wasn't like producers or like the coordinators or the coaches or their parents like telling them to be more sexual. No, it was just these girls being sexual. Like, that's what it was. There was
and another tweet that I saw talked about a scene where one of the girls is watching like a rap video with girls shaking their asses. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Well, she's fucking. They got like, I don't know, some Muslim prayer thing where they put like a blanket over them or something.
Yeah.
And everyone's like praying in their little blanket teepee. And this girl's just like watching a Juicy J music video or something.
Which, respect, Juicy J solid.
I don't know what it was, but these girls were just shaking their asses and like they're doing a thing where they can like flex their ass, like one ass cheek real hard.
Yeah.
It's just all jiggles and it's like, like
shaking one ass at a time. Just to be clear, these are adults
watching it.
These are adults in the video, and then she's watching that. So then she wants to emulate that.
So there is Allah.
There could be, maybe that's the connection of like, the media that we're producing is too sexual, and then children are watching it, which is true. Look at TikTok. Like this is basically TikTok the movie. And so little kids are being exposed to overly sexual content at a younger age. So if that's your point, that's fine. But I'm just saying maybe don't show little girls shaking their ass to prove that point. There are better ways to prove that point without adding to the problem, because 11-year-old girls are going to watch this. Yeah, and showing a titty. Because you
put me in prison.
If you think, as an artist, if you think that like society doesn't think that over-sexualizing children is wrong, like you're fucking wrong. Because the only people who don't think that are the people in California who legalize butt fucking a 14-year-old. Like, I mean, what side are you on? What fucking team are you on, lady? I hope, well, she's not from the United States, but I hope she's voting for fucking Trump, dude. If she doesn't want children sexualized, she better vote for Trump. I mean, what the fuck? There's, like I said, there's.
Did I break the law?
I don't think so. I think that Netflix did by putting this on, but, if that's what the director said, because if Tessa Thompson says that the point of the movie is, it's a criticism of the fact that children are already over-sexualized, you're going to prove that point by like hyper-sexualizing kids. Yeah. That's not that's like I said, that's like protesting violence by like decapitating people in the street. It's insane.
I don't know, but it just kind of goes to show too that I am not for cancel culture, because I don't know, I didn't want to just fucking
I like bullshit. By the way, I like the beer burp right before making a point.
I got a lot of them, but I'm not gonna be one to just shit on some movie and read reviews about it and yada yada. Like, I'll risk going to prison to
support art,
to critique this child porn.
Yeah. Sure you will.
I'm a critic.
But I mean, yeah, that's a tough spot to be in. But to me, this is so much further than like in the 90s whenever like Tipper Gore was trying to get rap music banned, or in the 80s whenever the fuck that was. Like
no.
There's definitely conservative overreaction to like Grand Theft Auto and shit that's completely arbitrary.
Yeah.
But I mean that's I guess my overall point is A, who the fuck is this made for, and B, if your point is that children are over sexualized, the way to prove that point is not to make the most overly sexualized movie on Netflix, put 11-year-olds in it, and then put it out to every. I mean,
I think what's going to happen is the pedophiles are going to try to make this like their NWA moment. You know, when they're like, you know, rapping "fuck the police" and getting arrested for that. Like, I think they're going to try to make this like their early '90s fucking.
Well, maybe this is like an actual. You know, maybe the director is straight up like blackpilled, and is trying to accelerate the hatred of pedophilia, which is insane that hatred of pedophilia should be at 1,000% all the time. But, you know, like the law passing in California, maybe this person is super anti-pedophile, so she wants everyone to think that Netflix is promoting it, and then everyone will hate Netflix, and then they'll realize that Hollywood is run by pedophiles, and then the whole fucking house of cards comes tumbling down. I fucking doubt it, but maybe. Yeah, Blue Chew is that's the holy grail.
Or actually, just anyone that listens to a podcast is just a fucking incel, and they can't get it up when they finally get a girl.
Dude, it's even for people. It's not just for people who can't get it up, dude. That's what I've heard, at least. I've not tried one because Blue Chew doesn't give a fuck about our podcast. But now that I think about it, maybe having Blue Chew sponsor an episode about cuties is not a good idea.
Why?
But that would be a funny bit.
Yeah,
would be
not?
To put Blue Chew in one of our friends' drinks, and then we all sit down and watch Cuties, and we call the police when he gets hard.
Just a good night, man.
That's the new Jackass, is giving people Blue Chew and making them watch Cuties, and then you have to explain it to the feds.